just a quick review of the book, all about volleyball drills, volleyball drill guide for all levels. Basically, the book's divided up into about 10 major sections. I'll go over each briefly, just to give you an idea what's in the book. It starts out with a glossary, which is good. That way everybody's on the same page as far as what they're talking about. Second one is what to keep in mind before starting. It talks about things like drill selection, how to make the most of each practice, and that sort of thing. And then the rest of the book, really kind of the meat and potatoes of the book, is the drills. So chapters 3 through 10 basically cover the various drills for skills. So there's like chapter 3 is like serving drills, 4 is setting drills, then they go into passing drills, 6 is blocking drills, then they go into digging drills, hitting drills, chapter 9 is conditioning drills, 10 are team building drills. Now within each section, like say serving drills, there is a beginner's drill, and then drills, and then there's an intermediate and advanced drills section. So there's 2 different sections for each individual skill. So passing drills has a beginners, and then an intermediate/advanced section. Blocking drills, there's a beginners and an intermediate/advanced. So really there's something for everyone. So it makes the book that everybody can pick up the book and get something out of it if you're playing volleyball. If you're just starting out, use the beginning drills. If you've been doing this a while, you're looking for more advanced stuff, there is a section for you in each separate skill. So that's one thing I really liked about it. So yeah, I think bottom line, if you're looking for a book that says all about volleyball drills, that's it in a nutshell. The book is all about volleyball drills. So definitely I would check it out. One other thing I can add, sometimes if players, common problem with players, another good book if you're a coach, rotator cuff problems are really kind of rampant with a lot of volleyball players. This is another good resource, I think. If you have players with torn rotator cuffs, you know how to manage them. 6-minute torn rotator cuff solution. It says for seniors, but athletes can get just as much out of this book. Basically, if you have a player that you think might have a rotator cuff problem, well, first of all, it starts out, what is the rotator cuff? Goes over, exactly what muscles it is, what it does. And then answers you need to know. So what are the symptoms of a cuff tear? A player says, I think it's my rotator cuff. Well, what are the symptoms? Are there any special maneuvers that might indicate that you have a rotator cuff tear? Where exactly does it tear at? Are there different kinds of rotator cuff tears? I have a rotator cuff tear and I'm in a lot of pain. I need surgery, right? Well, not necessarily. This is a very evidence-based book. Goes into detail about a lot of studies. So it backs up every answer with studies. Each one of these blocks is a study. So really, the only way you can answer that question is you look at studies, and this book has looked at all of them, where basically you take a lot of people, say 100 people with rotator cuff tears, measure the size of their tear, and then you run a pain scale and see, how bad are they hurting, and then come to find out there's actually a lot of people that could have a good sized rotator cuff tear that have no pain. So there really are asymptomatic tears, and then there's other people walking around with small tears that are in a lot of pain. So to answer the question, yeah, if you're in a lot of pain, do you need surgery? Not necessarily, because there really isn't necessarily a strong correlation between tear size and the amount of pain you're in. What would happen if I just leave the rotator cuff tear alone? Here again, only way look at the studies where they take a bunch of people with rotator cuff that didn't get any treatment, follow them for 5 or 10 years, and see what happened to them. Does it get better, same, or worse? And here's a good one too. How does exercise compare to surgery when it comes to treating a torn rotator cuff? Evidence-based book, the only way you're going to know the answer to that one, look at the randomized controlled trials, which is the highest form of proof in medicine that a treatment's effective, where they would compare exercise to surgery. So let's say you take 100 volleyball players, 50 with tears, rotator cuff tears. You randomly assign 50 to have surgery, the other 50 do an exercise program. So how do they do over the next 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years? So this book went through all the randomized controlled trials comparing exercise to surgery. It found a very consistent finding, which basically whether you have surgery or whether you do a good exercise program, you're going to end up at the same place. So that's evidence-based medicine. To that end, the book has exercises, and a good exercise program, which really does take you 6 minutes or less, all based on evidence. Like the last book, all about volleyball drills, it too has different levels. So it'll have like a beginning level, an intermediate level, and an advanced level. So I really like that concept in these books. So if you have, say, a player that just, they think they tore the rotator cuff and they can barely move their arm, has real simple exercises. On the other hand, if somebody with small tear, not really too many symptoms, kind of nagging, you can do the intermediate or advanced program. So yeah, really good if you're running, because sooner or later you're going to run across players that have issues with their shoulder. Also, if you improve the stability of your shoulder by rotator cuff strengthening, your skills are probably going to get better as well too. So another good resource for volleyball players. But yeah, if you're looking for drills, yeah, this is your book. So check it out.